Good evening and welcome to the June 9th Board of Selectmen meeting. Everybody to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. We have limited staff here, and there's three of us present, and we have Selectman Littlefield is zoomed into the meeting.
And Sherry.
So any of you that are watching this on the streaming system or whatever, we will be going through a public hearing, and it's really to, I guess, review the upcoming budget referendum that will be voted on July 11th, and it will be
July 14th, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry, July 14th, Tuesday, July 14th, and the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee balloting will start next week? Monday.
This coming Monday.
Okay. So we're having this first hearing. We'll do a follow-up hearing if need be, or we can certainly run a loop of this on the cable network, or you can stream it if you'd like. So we'll call this public hearing to order. What I think we're just going to do is walk through the warrant, and the warrant is ultimately will be rendered down to the actual ballot, and I believe there are 17. I'm sorry, that was last year. 21. There will be 21 articles on the warrant. And each one of those will contain either, well, I'm sorry. The first two are, one is to elect a moderator, and the second one is to elect all necessary officers. So we do have a fairly large slate of town officials being elected this year. There's a 3-year term that we have 2 positions opening on. For selectmen, there is the remaining 2-year term of Tim Neal's tenure, which he resigned effective the end of May. So we'll be electing one person for a 2-year term. There is a 3-year term of the RSU 57 Board of Directors that's available. There are 2 water district. If you live in the water district, you'll be able to vote for one for a 3-year term and one for a 2-year term. And we do have a slate of candidates for those, and we'll have some debate here later, a discussion on how we would handle a candidate's night given the current circumstances. So Article 1 and 2 are certainly stuff that we handle typically to open the elections. Article 3 is a standalone article that addresses one specific thing, and that is to see if the town will vote to authorize the issuance of up to $1 million in general obligation bonds or notes to enter into a lease purchase agreement to finance and purchase a new ladder truck to replace the town's 1994 ladder truck. Kind of explanatory note, there will be an explanatory note. The 26-year-old ladder truck is worn out, undependable, breaks down often, is regularly out of service. Parts can be extremely expensive and hard to find. Both the Selectmen and the Budget Committee approved the new truck purchase as essential to public safety. Selectmen have presented the full $1 million quoted price here, but they also intend to use at least $200,000 from a rescue billing account to lower the sale price to about $800,000 and to lower the annual payments to less than $100,000 per year for the next 10 years. And there'll be some explanation of what the finances look like relative to that. I will tell you that currently we have about $1.3 million in outstanding bonds and interest. And if we add this to that mix, it's going to be adding about $926,880, and again, that is $800,000 out of taxation and $126,000 out of interest, and again, that would be spread over a 10-year period. So that would be borrowed or bonded or whatever the case may be. The interest rate that we have in here is probably high because interest rates right now are probably the lowest that we've seen them in many, many years. So that is Article 3. It's a standalone article, and it's for one item, and it's the purchase of a new ladder truck. And we would trade whatever value the current ladder truck is worth in on that, and I don't know what we would get for it. Article 4 is another standalone article. We have the opportunity to acquire approximately 27-acre parcel of land, which is directly across from and down from the current transfer station. It's across the road, and it goes all the way to the Bartlett Brook. It's on Bennett Hill Road, so there's 27 acres. There is a considerable amount of future gravel that could be extracted off in that, and that is really our intent, is that we would purchase this for the use of future gravel extractions or future use or whatever, and again, it's 27 acres. It currently is owned by the Bennett Hill Housing Association or Incorporation. And in return for that, the Bennett Hill Housing is looking at 2 parcels of land that are currently owned by the town of Waterboro that are up in the unapproved section of Carpenter Road, up in the northern end of town, tax map 13, lots 3 and 12. And we're asking for is to raise and appropriate up to $100,000 for the remaining consideration to purchase the 27 acres. So acre for acre, it's almost the same with the 2 lots that we would be swapping. But again, we're swapping that land that is on an unapproved section of the road for a piece of property that is would be added to and can included in the kind of the transfer station, public works garage. All of that would then be in the same area. So it's $100,000, and it would not be paid all at one time. I think the initial discussions that we've had with the landowner is that we could do it over a 10-year period. But again, we will take a peek at that, and that will be an article. There are some other issues that we would have to enter into to make sure that the land is in fact, we'd have to go through to look at contingent on passing environmental test or whatever the case may be. We would not go through with the deal if there are issues with it. So that is Article 4, and again, it's a standalone article. And again, that would be something that we would handle on either a multiple year or a single year acquisition or whatnot, and certainly it's 27 acres. It would cost the town, financially about $100,000. We could do that on one fell swoop, or we could do that over some period of 10 years. And we'll have some more explanation when we when we put out the documents relative to the entire, like we did last year, kind of an info packet. All right, Article 5 is general government. It covers the general government, not only the Board of Selectmen salaries, but the salaries of the town clerk, the tax collector, the treasurer, the town administrator, York County taxes, general assistance, hydrant rental that we were required to purchase from the water district for fire prevention. So there's a whole litany of items in here. There's loans and leases, there's insurance, workers' comp and medical, Medicare and Social Security insurance. So the current budget, the one that we're currently in, is $2.283 million. We have recommended an increase to $2.486 million, so just under just over $200,000 increase, and that is driven typically, or well, I shouldn't say typically. It's driven by an increase, substantial increase in workman's comp. Certainly increases in insurance, Medicare, Social Security, those kinds of things. There are no, just so that everybody is aware, there are no COLA increases for the employees built into that. So it would be no increase in wages unless somebody was up for a senior, a longevity raise or whatever the case may be.
You've got almost $100,000 worth of increase in loans and leases.
Right.
Which also includes that new fire truck that just
That's right.
arrived in town.
And Tommy's truck replacement.
Right. So that is the general government. Again, we're looking for $2,486,000, which is up about $200,000 from the previous year. There's a slight increase in York County taxes, and as Dwayne had mentioned, about $100,000 increase in loans and leases. There's certainly a workers' comp increase that is fairly significant in and of itself. It's going from $653,000 to $749,000, so that chews up just about all of what we're looking at for an increase. Article 6 covers the town tax assessor, the CEO, the planning board and zoning board of appeals. Current budget is $267,000. This actually drops to $236,230.
Article 6 covers the town tax assessor, the CEO, the planning board,
And we're getting some
board
feedback.
and zoning board of appeals. The current budget is $267,000.
There's a little delay in some of our equipment here. So that's Article 6. Article 7 will cover the library and the recreation department. The current appropriation is $430,000. That's made up of $110 from the library and $320 from recreation, and it actually goes down to $414,000. And again, no wage increases of any of the folks. We've made a decision not to pass on a COLA or a cost of living increase in this current fiscal year. So that takes care of Article 7, that's library and recreation. Article 8 is the transfer station and the public works department. Current appropriation, or this current year's budget is $1.99 million, made up of $488,000 at the transfer station and $1.5 million from public works. Transfer station will be going up to $527,000, and the Public Works will be dropping to 1,483,000. So there's about we go from 1.992 million to 2.011, so about $20,000 in increase there.
Which includes an extra personnel,
Right.
so.
And it includes, yeah, it does add, we are adding a person to the Public Works Department. And the reason we're including those two is that ultimately it all comes under the Public Works Director today. And we will start to, and have already really started to blend those two departments together so that we can share employees or whatever the case may be for Public Works.
And this is also going, trying to fill the charter,
Right.
the way the charter reads and directs the town.
So that's Article 8, and again, a small increase, but any increase, I guess, is what we're trying to manage here. Article 9 is kind of a standalone to see if the town will vote and raise appropriate Selectmen's recommendation of $99,000 for the fire department equipment on the capital improvement plan. So today we have, actually this is new, right, to the fire department, right? So it's $99,000.
Yes.
This equipment includes scuba or SCBA bottles, air compressor, Knox box key secure system, and a backup generator for the Ospey Hill repeater, which is up on top of Ospey Hill, and we are now required, kind of getting booted off from the current site. So this gives us an opportunity to put a backup generator and everything up on the on Ospey Tower, or adjacent to Ospey Tower, that runs the repeater system for the fire department public safety radios. Article 10 is the capital improvement for the fire department and the library. And this includes inside heaters for South Station, as well as a partial roof replacement, LED lights, and repairs to the chimney at the library. So it's $26,800. There was a recommendation of $56,000, and the Board of Selectmen took that down to $26,800. So that's Article 10. Article 11 is a capital improvement plan for the upgrade of roads, and this would recommend $131,500. Upgrades includes culverts, ditching, pavement, and drainage structures. So they would be classified as capital improvements. Article 12 is handles the fire department, EMS, police services for the ensuing year. And again, the standard language is in here. Any rescue revenues in excess of $20,000 at the end of the year shall be held in an account designated for the purchase of equipment. So public safety, current total of these four items is $1.2 million, $1.262 million. So public safety would be $951,000. EMS is $111,000. Rosconna Fire Department is in this mix at $9,987 or $10,000. And then the two contract deputies that we have with the York County Sheriff's Office at $190,000. So we would be going from $1,262,671 to $1,400,569. So public safety total would be jumping a little over $100,000. The EMS would be dropping about $7,000. Rosconna actually is down by only $500, but And then the contract deputy service would be this, remain the same at $190,000. So Article 13 is miscellaneous committees and agencies. Today we're under, in the current budget, we're at $91,000, would be going to 73. The kind of the biggest drop out of that is in miscellaneous committees, so it takes it down from the current $69,000 to $61,600. Half of that is driven by the Old Home Days Committee. We will not be having Old Home Days this year, but this does add some money into next year's budget so that they can start their activities for the Old Home Days 2021. All right? And then miscellaneous agencies, we're funding it flat at $12,000. Let's see, Article 14 is the typical taking registration monies from snowmobiles and placed in account from the maintenance of fire roads to be spent under the direction of the fire chief, the public works director, and a representative from the snowmobile club. That's an annual article. Article 15, another annual article, is what we can legally charge for interest on unpaid taxes, which is set at 8% annual. Article 16 is to vote what we would pay someone if for interest if in fact we overcollected and what we would owe them back. Again, that's 8%, and again it is really controlled by the Maine statutes. Article 17, to see if the town will vote to authorize a tax collector or treasurer to accept prepayments of taxes, and again that is in accordance with state law. Article 18 is to see if the town will vote to authorize a public works director with the financial approval from the town administrator to spend public funds on emergency winter maintenance for public safety reasons on private property. This has always been a discussion. If we in fact have an emergency situation, the ambulance is going to pick someone up, happens to be on a private road, and the road becomes impassable because of conditions, public works director can sand, salt, or whatever has to happen to that road so that the emergency vehicles can get into that road. Article 19 is to see if the town will vote to accept the reports of several town offices for the year ensuing, which is a typical routine article. Article 20 is to see the town will vote to authorize municipal officers to accept gifts to the municipality and expend the same, to make application for and execute any documents required for various grants, state and federal, as well as individuals and private charities and foundations, and to further authorize municipalities offices or municipal offices to accept any such grants if awarded and authorize the expenditure of those. So this is just another annual catch-all article that allows us to accept grants, federal monies, state monies, and also spend those monies in accordance with those grants. Article 21 is to vote to zero out all credit balances as of June 30, 2020 in all departments of the town, excluding the following end-of-year account balances to be carried forward until applied. So under municipal buildings, we get supplies, buildings, and emergency repairs. Under health and sanitation, we have supplies, hot top and roll-off container, repairs and maintenance, vehicle roll-off container and equipment, contract services for grinding and purchase in the purchase capital in buildings, public works, supplies, culverts, hot top, to carry those monies over, repair and maintenance on vehicles, pit restoration in the town road contractual services, engineering, plowing, Those are all part of this. General assistance for rent that we've raised in this current budget that will be carried forward. Capital improvements, purchase equipment, buildings, upgrade of roads, miscellaneous accounts, unclassified road review committee, recycling committee, community garden committee, and then old home days would be the full remaining balance of what is or would normally go into the general fund. And then revenues carry forward the code enforcement, library, recreation, public safety, and general assistance. So we are recommending that all of that pass. That is the extent of what will be voted on. And again, it will be voted on in 21 articles, the first 2 of which ultimately select a moderator and elect municipal offices. And the remaining 19 address either expenditures or permissions that the municipality needs to go forward in the ensuing year. We are, and you'll see on this warrant that warrant represents the following estimated sources of revenues toward our proposed annual municipal budget. Municipal budget will now be $6,880,000. We have some idea of what's going to happen at the school level, but that is not finalized yet and won't be until the final vote. But we will take $3.6 million out of various accounts, either department revenues, excise tax, rapid renewal, undesignated fund balance, rescue billing fees, transfer station fees, cable TV franchise, the Maine Department of Transportation block grant, state general assistance, ambulance subscription, those things all up to about 3.6 million. That will come out of the 6.8 million, and then the balance would be in the tax rate, along with whatever RSU 57. So if anybody has questions, comments, you can certainly you can pick up the phone and dial 247-6166, extension 106, and we can take your question now. Or you can send an email, comments to any one of us that are on the board. The town administrator and it's just administrator at waterboro-me.gov. We can take those informations or questions, and we can either get back to you or we can handle those live if somebody wants to call now. Unfortunately, due to the situation that we're in with this ongoing lockdown and the pandemic, even though we have less than 10 people physically in this room, we still do not have the ability to entertain a crowd of people of general public that would like to come in. So we will provide as much feedback as we can to anyone that would like to call, talk to, you can talk to Gary at any time, and his extension is 100. If you want to dial in to an extension 106 now, we can answer a question now. And feel free to send any email that would address to any one of us on the board, and we'll attempt to answer those questions. So again, July 14th at Massabesic East, we will still have to accommodate social distancing to the best of our knowledge anyway. We will have everything set up so that there will be social distancing, the appropriate social distancing between voting booths as people wait in the line. We would encourage anyone to call Christine here at the town office and ask for an absentee ballot.
Yes.
Effective Monday. you'll be able to get an absentee ballot. You can vote then in the comfort of your own home. Are we gonna have any booths set up here? Or you can come in here and actually vote here. There'll be fewer booths set up because of social distancing requirements, but you could come in and vote prior to Election Day here. Absentee ballots then get sealed in an envelope, and they will be handled between the hours and opened and processed between the hours. No, you're going to do that on a daily basis, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to process absentee ballots on July 11th, July 12th, July 14th, beginning at 9 a.m. So the absentee ballots will be processed either prior to or during the election itself. The numbers will not be available until the final analysis is done. So again, July 14th, prior to that, starting Monday the 15th of June, you'll be able to come in or call and request an absentee ballot. We would encourage that, especially for those folks that may have underlying medical issues and don't want to go out into a public vote. But again, we would encourage that to anybody. You don't have to explain why anymore, right? You can early vote. And that will minimize the amount of people that show up at the polls. There will be how many ballots? How many pieces of paper?
There could be up to 8 ballots that you receive.
So there will be, from the municipality, we will have a ballot that's 2 pages?
We have 3 pages.
3 pages. One is the election of the offices, right?
Yeah. Let's try it. So for the town, you're going to have 3 double-sided ballots. Possibly a water district ballot, which will make 4 if you're in the water district. The school will have 2. The state has 2. So you could have up to 8.
Okay, so 8 different pieces of paper,
Yes.
all right, if you're in the water district. If you're not in the water district, it's going to be...
If you're in the water district, you'd have 7 if you're in a political party also. Now the state, if you're unenrolled in the state, you will not, you only get the bond questions. So you're going to get either 6 or 8.
So if you're recorded or registered as a Republican or Democrat, you would get that ballot.
That's
If you're
correct.
registered as an independent, you will not get a primary
correct.
ballot, right? If you're in the water district, you would get a water district ballot. If
Yes.
you're not physically in the water district, you will not have that ballot,
That's right.
You will have the municipal election of officers and the budget referendums.
And that's 3 ballots,
Okay.
double-sided.
You will have the state bond
Yes.
issue, right?
Yes.
Are there any other state referendums? Just the bond issue?
If somebody calls you, you can mail it to them, correct?
Yes.
So if there's any of the elderly that doesn't want to get out and get into this building, or anybody that doesn't feel safe in getting in, Christine can mail this out with a phone call, so.
I have almost 200 applications for absentee ballots already, which is quite a few for
Well,
this
that's good.
election. So that's good.
So, again, kind of in summary, the 14th of July,
Yes.
right? Means how we've now passed what would have been, or today would have, no, would have been today? June 9th or June 2nd?
Would have been today.
Would have been today.
Second Tuesday, yeah.
Right, so we pushed out until the 14th, and that's statewide.
Yep.
Again, as Christine's explained, you could have a whole fistful of ballots, or depending on how you're registered or whether you're in the water district, somewhat less. If you want to absentee vote, you can absentee vote up until,
Nope, there is no,
okay, so there's no As long as you have the absentee ballot,
It's open right until 8 PM on election day. They did not, there's no special
Okay.
circumstance this time.
so you can bring an absentee ballot to the polls.
Yes. Yep.
So the annual budget, just in kind of in summary, without the school costs now, we're gonna be $6.88 million. That's about a $200,000 increase, or 3% on the municipal budget. It's about $124,000 less. The selectmen's recommendation is $124,000 less than what the budget committee and the town administrator proposed. There are no cost of living increases for employees. We do have, anybody that's watching, we do have a budget spreadsheet if you're interested. We certainly have a budget annual memo, which ties to the budget sheet, and then we do have the annual warrant, which is posted. So anybody that would like any of that information can certainly reach out to us, and we'll make sure they get a copy. They are all on the town's website, so you can download them right from the website. Other than that, anybody want to add? Yeah, Gary?
We've done most of item 10B here, so that Christine could move back out front. We can just probably finish this
Okay,
agenda item off.
Let's
if you'd
just
like.
finish up this one here.
Okay.
When you talk about the school having 2 documents, you said? Christine, is that after their meeting that he had last night, they told you that?
Well, no, that was before.
Okay, because last night, the board had a special meeting, and they decided that they're gonna have a public hearing. And tomorrow night, they're having the regular meeting. And from what I understand out of that, there's a unanimous vote to have the public hearing. Their public hearing is gonna be June 24th via Zoom. Tomorrow night's meeting, apparently there's some legal wording issues that they're working out with their
Yes.
attorneys. And then they gotta sign off on the ballots, and you're supposed to have the ballots by end of day Friday.
Right, that's correct.
And they also talk about, it's not gonna be a one-liner like it used to be, like it normally is. It might be spread out like ours is, encompassing a couple of different things. So there might be 2 or 3 different questions. I don't know if it's gonna be 1 page, 2, 3, or half a dozen, so. If you wanna get more
We're
information.
a month away from the election, and we still don't know.
Contact Colin Walsh, and he can probably explain everything to you.
Absentee opens Monday.
Yeah. All right, so you will have the RSUs, all of that, okay? So, anything else on the public hearing? Comments? If not, let's call that to a close. Let me jump to, what did you say? C, right?
10B.
10B, update on the election. Anything else that you want to talk about?
Sure.
Step right up to the podium.
All about this body. Can we close the regular office on the 14th so I can use those people to work at the election?
I would think that we could do that as long as we...
We have to.
Right,
I need
We
them.
really do.
yeah.
I've had several people that decided not to work, which is all their choice because of the situation. So I really do need them.
You're talking about ballot clerks.
Ballot clerks. So I do need them to help us get through. And with so many ballots, I need more people to be able to distribute them correctly.
So we're going to talk about rescheduling July board meetings and whatnot here under new business, so we'll deal with voting to close the office on the 14th then.
Okay.
What else?
So I'm going to assume, I shouldn't say that you will close the office because I have to have training for my people, and I kind of scheduled that for June 23rd and June 30th.
You're going to know that in an hour, less than an hour.
So So, I know, but I've got to get them, their letters out to them to when their scheduling is, so, I'm really pushing, I probably shouldn't say that, but I know that you'll do that later. Just trying to think of anything else. I don't think I really have.
Are we getting more voting machines?
No, and because we have some ranked choice voting that we can't, one machine is for the state, one machine is for the town, of course, and then we have the box for the school, so either way you look at it, they're gonna have to stop at this machine, which has to be this far away from this machine, put your town in, put your state in, and then put your school in, or however we set that up, so we didn't for this one.
Should we? I mean, is it too
Maybe
late?
in the future, it's too late now. And the reason, there's a couple of reasons why to get them, I'm not sure if we even could. The state contract has run out, so we're using what we have until they get new machines, which was supposed to happen before the November election, which now we don't know when, where, and how we'll have training, if we'll end up with the same machines or not. So we're kind of in that journey, but, and then, of course, we're gonna do every absentee ballot we can ahead of time, so that'll help that burden on the election day.
Okay.
Either way, it would have slowed us down whether we had one machine or four, because you're gonna have 3 ballots for the town that have to go into this one, then you gotta move down to the next one, and then you gotta put the school one in the box to hand count.
And we have, you guys are confident we have enough people to sanitize booths after they're used and all of that stuff?
Recreation folks are gonna supply 2 people throughout the day to do nothing but clean the booths in between voters.
So if you want to continue to vote physically, right, then we're going to have this set up so that we believe that safety will be paramount, right? So
Yes.
that
Yeah.
there should be no,
Yes.
if you want to come out and physically vote, you should not, there will be social distancing, we will be sanitizing everything. So you may have to wait in line longer than,
Well, you may have to wait anyways, because we'll have a few less booths probably set up. Plus, we can only have so many people, including the workers, in the room. So, is it 50, I think, at this point? You can have, so at 6 feet apart. Some of that, you won't be able to do.
Some of that
with
may
the
change
workers.
by July 1st,
It
too,
could.
so we don't know.
But we're gonna do the best we can. The
it'd be
state
nice
is
if they'd make that
supplying,
announcement now, but anyway.
the state is supplying a lot of equipment for that reason. There's,
Are you still looking for bodies for workers?
I could.
Okay,
Do you have people in mind? You can send them my way.
I'll do that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's always good to be able to switch shifts a little bit more and fill in, so, yeah.
And train for the fall. They'll have new people come in on this one.
Those employees that are gonna be cleaning should have a face shield.
They'll all have masks or face
Okay.
shields and gloves. Mhm.
The question I got, the worst piece of equipment is that pen.
Yes.
Now,
They'll have to wipe it down every
wipe it
time.
down and throw it away.
Well, I can't throw them away because,
700 or 800, 10,000 pens ain't gonna hurt.
but I mean, the Clorox wipes work really well, I think, and I think that they could wipe them, but if they're uncomfortable, they can bring their own pen
Right.
too, because you
But-
can, that machine will read any color ink. So, if people are uncomfortable, we've had a lot of people come in here with their own pens to sign the back of their registrations and things like that, so.
But you're right, for $1,000, I mean, for
1,000 pencils, I mean,
1,000 pens, you could, you know,
pens, it ain't,
might cost you
and those can be thrown right away.
$270 a
We could.
whatever. All right, any other questions, comments? I'm sure we'll follow this up again.
I talked to RB Graphics the other day, because they ordered some signs. He can make some 4x4 signs for about $60. My thought is, 6 signs throughout town, absentee voting now available, and they'd be 4x4 signs. We've got 2 welcome signs coming into town, one South Waterboro and one on the Lyman line, on 202. But, yeah, one here, one at the fire station, one at the town dump, transfer station, excuse me.
Thank you.
One up on Route 5 coming into town somewhere up there. And
There's a welcome sign coming in on Route 5,
Yeah,
one on Route 202, 4 and 5.
yeah.
One on
two,
Townhouse
two.
Road.
One on Townhouse Road.
But Weber Road and Deering's Ridge, somewhere across there with the amount of traffic that's flowing that,
Yeah, that doesn't.
and probably that sign in North Waterboro ought to be south of the Silas Brown Road so that you're picking up the traffic going out of town,
Yeah.
into town, not out of town.
Yeah, because there's a lot of traffic
Yeah.
that doesn't come in from the north. Anyway, yeah,
But 6 signs, I think, would do it, but that's $360, and I think that would be well spent. If we put the town number on it, so that they can call, and those 4x4 signs should be big enough so that even driving by, they should be able to see it. I think it's money well spent.
yes. White with a red lettering on it or something.
Yeah.
That stands out.
Stands out, but he said he could, but we need to get it done ASAP. I don't know how busy he is, but he's always used us very well, so.
Okay?
Does the board want that done, or?
I think the more that we can attract people to absentee ballot, the better off we're gonna be on election day.
I don't have a problem if we can get them made to put them up. I mean, I'll put them up as long as give me a little bit of direction, but so that the traffic can see them.
I would just go ahead and do it, but
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Okay.
I mean, I think anything that we can add will help. And it'll make the,
Kevin,
yep,
may I suggest that we reach out to those businesses in the community that have those electronic signs, and see if they can post something there, that the absentee ballots are now available. There's a number of those signs dispersed through town now.
yeah. That might help, yep. Okay, thanks, Gordon.
Welcome.
All right, anything else for Christine? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Christine don't want that coming out of her budget. We need to come up with the funding somewhere here.
I think we got 300 or 400 bucks laying around somewhere. All right, jump back up. We have any announcements from anybody? Additions or deletions of the agenda. We don't have any appointments. Public comment, kind of a moot point. Treasury report and motor vehicle reports are available. Anybody's interested. Selectmen's reports. Gordon, anything?
No, I don't have anything, thank you.
Okay. Ted?
No, sir.
Dwayne? I'm all set. Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think we covered the election information quite well. We'll skip down to we're blessed with continued good health in the town staff here. This is the 4th week we've been open by appointment only, and later in the agenda here we'll talk about what the next step would be. I want the public and the selectmen to know that staff certainly out front is comfortable with not doing appointments anymore and just having the door monitored so that there's no line indoors. But it would save time on the phones, having those appointments, and we can handle more customers through the day if we didn't have the 15-minute window. So we can talk about that a little bit later. Public Works update, both Josh and David are here at the transfer station, and actually, they're going to do that right after me, so I won't dive into that. We did have an incident where we got some real talent, and we got the metal pile on fire here 2 or 3 weekends ago, but somebody that shot a flare gun into the pile, and then they ignited some combustibles in there, and authorities are investigating that situation. I don't think we need to talk any more detail about that, but both David and Josh may have some other projects that they can update the board on. The milfoil monitoring at Gobeil Park, we started doing it 6 a.m. to noon to really catch most of the fishermen.
Just a comment on that.
Yep.
You fishermen are out there before 6, so Tuesday through Thursday, you ain't gonna see any vehicles, so I think you're better off to play with those hours.
Well, there's people out there fishing during the week, and not as many.
They're very local. If they're going out, especially on the weekend, bass fishing, they're out there before 6, and they're coming off by 10. Even at 4 o'clock, you're gonna see boats up there, so, and those are the ones that are traveling with this milfoil. But, realistically, 6 to noon, you might as well throw that money right out the window.
The rest of the board feel that way?
Well, I think you got, if you drive through there early in the morning, there's already half a dozen vehicles there before 6 o'clock. So,
Well, we can see if those two gentlemen want to start earlier, I guess.
yeah, I mean, they're gonna get done earlier, so.
Well, I mean, in that middle of the week, you aren't gonna have a lot of boats. Once you realize where your boats are, you can split those hours a little bit different, I think.
Yeah, it ought
If
to
they
be-
get there at 6, most of your fishermen are already out, so. Rainy day, you're probably not gonna find it, so it's a one boring job, sitting up there in the rain, but.
Is there any way that, maybe that's something that you could task the Todd or whatever? Because you do have these guys that bass fish, right? And it's a club,
Yeah.
right? And she could at least find out, and I think they're very, very conscious on themselves of what they're bringing from one lake to another and one pond to another. But is there a way that we can at least reach out to some of those local groups and find out when and if they have a tournament scheduled in town or on the lake?
That's all published, or at least it was before COVID hit. I don't know if they're doing those tournaments, but.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things are
I
all
don't know,
scheduled
I don't know
well in
either, but somebody could at least reach out to them and say, hey, if you're coming, we're gonna,
Somehow, we also need to keep them boat trailers off the swimming area.
right,
Them parking spots up there aren't made for boats and trailers. And no matter when you go down through there, there's 3 or 4 trailers parked right there on the swimming side of the parking lot.
Usually when the other side is full.
Doesn't matter, they don't belong there.
yeah.
I mean, that is for residents only, and it ain't made for boat trailers, because they're taking up
Yeah,
three
2 or 3 spots, right?
trucks with trailers on them is taking up the whole parking area on that side. David's got a question, but
Yep,
Who's going to enforce that?
that's a damn good question, but with the proper signage, those 2 guys that are up there are 2
There are signs
bodies,
up there.
that takes care of it.
yeah, I
They
mean,
need help.
I don't think you want somebody that's, to get into a confrontation, but there should be at least, you know, we would appreciate it if you wouldn't park there, right? And I guess if that continues, then it's a matter of a call to one of the contract deputies, right?
Yep.
So, but I don't think we want anybody that's kind of attending up there to start getting into a confrontation. I don't think.
At one time, we talked about allowing them to park here at this facility and shuttle each other to
Yeah.
and from the lake if all the parking spaces were
And
used
I
up.
don't think that there's a problem with doing that, as long as, and maybe
And
we
there
could.
there is a dock at this point that is for boaters out there in front of the campground. That dock that's out front was designed and went through the planning board for local boats to use to go to the store or go to the town office.
But not to launch.
Not to launch, but to pull in and tie up long enough to go to the local
At the
community.
public beach?
No,
No.
at the campgrounds. That
Oh,
one
yeah,
only
yeah.
dock was for the boaters on Ospey Lake, not the campground.
Yeah.
One spot. but-
One,
But what you're talking about is maybe, you know, you could have, you know, if we made up a bunch of cards, right, or whatever, and just say, listen, you know, you're not supposed to park on the beach side, right? You can park at the town office, right? I mean, we can have them park out back here, right? There's all kinds of parking spot here for somebody to pull in with a,
With a
but they're
trailer.
gonna have to buddy up and,
Yep.
and do some of that, but I think if we just let them know that, okay, you can park your stuff up to the town office and, you know, leave your truck up there, you might have to get a ride up there after, you know, to go get your truck and pull the boat out, but, I mean, that would just, I think you could just make a stack of those and hand them to the two attendants there or whatever.
at one point, that whole water side was for Waterboro residents only.
The beach for swimming
Right.
is still that way.
But anybody parking on that water side,
Here again, who's gonna enforce
Yeah.
that?
Well, again, it's not like, I don't think we gotta hire somebody to walk up and down the beach,
No.
right? But I think that if we've got a couple of guys there, it only takes a minute for somebody to say, you know, I mean, even when they're launching, or they gotta come back, right? And pick their boat up and stuff, so it's just a matter of, you know, appreciate if you need a place to park your truck and trailer, feel free to
But
use
this-
the town office.
this is where that attendant, if he gets there at 6 and he's already got 3 or 4 trucks pulled in on the water side, it's very hard to move them, so.
Yeah, you can't.
It's, you know, it's,
But I don't think we want somebody to be combative about it, or, you know, get into a discussion about, you know, you can't do this or do that. I think, you know, just a courtesy conversation probably could go a long ways, but we don't know. And if that doesn't work, then I think ultimately you just pass it on, but, all right. Anything else on the boat launch there, Gary?
Not for me, just an FYI, there may be a possible contract zone, letter of application and a request coming in to the Board of Selectmen. The process starts here with the Selectmen and moves on to the Planning Board. Our contract zone section is pretty short, just 2 or 3 pages in the ordinance, but it's pretty descriptive in terms of responsibilities and authority for both the Board of Selectmen and the Planning Board. This would be for the property that abuts Southern Maine Healthcare and also goes across the old railroad bed. Would be for up to 40 age-restricted condos as a possibility. We've not seen anything yet submitted, but I talked to one of the persons preparing that information today, and he says it's in process. It should get to Lee J, I would think certainly this month, and it might be best for the next Board of Selectmen to be the Board of Selectmen that that hears that, rather than do it now and have a different board. And just one other little FYI on DOT spraying will occur on 202 and 5 for small hardwood and softwood trees. And if you want to get any more information on what they're spraying and what for, I have a telephone number here for somebody at DOT that it can be reached. And that's it for me, Mr. Chairman, and I think David and Josh will jump in on the next item.
Okay. Update on public works projects. So, who wants to go first?
Transfer station.
I'll go. The oil building is coming along good. Everything's ordered. Everything that we had to order is on site now. I'm waiting on the oil to be pumped out of the old containment. I spoke with Chris over at Sin Oil today, and he said he'd be there no later than Wednesday of next week to pump that. Once that pump, that building can come out and we can start cutting pavement and getting ready for the new building.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
Sunday mornings, busier as we go along?
Yeah, we're right out straight. We're busy Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I mean, there's really no, little bit of slow time in the middle of the day, but usually in the opening hours, we're backed right up down the road. And usually around closing time, we get that big rush of people coming in right before we close.
Is Wednesday evening getting any busier? We've been trying to encourage people to come
Yep.
then.
We're getting a lot of traffic.
Yep.
Sometimes it's difficult to keep, people will show up at, 6:55 with a big trailer load of stuff, and we can't really turn them away. So we've had a few nights where you're there 7:15, 7:30, but nothing too bad.
Anything else?
Are we back to charging folks for,
Yes.
just out of curiosity, what do we charge a guy when he brings a boat in?
So we have a sheet that we go by. Usually it's a minimum charge of $25. So if someone brings in a canoe, it's going to cost them $25. Anything bigger than that, it can be, say a 16-footer, fiberglass or aluminum, doesn't really matter, because that's all going to go in demolition. We have to put it in the demo bin, crush it down. You put one boat in a bin, it's pretty much 3/4 full. We ship that bin, say that we ship it, that bin's $500 to pay for it. We're paying $95 a ton, so we've been trying to, keep it down as close as we can, but usually anywhere from $50 to $75 and up is about average.
So we put it in the demo.
Yep.
It goes where?
To CPRC, Riverside.
Why? We probably ought to have a discussion of why are we taking boats?
Right. I agree.
Okay?
Now, the reason I brought that up is that not last week, the week before, I was there on Wednesday, and I saw a guy come down Bennett Hill Road from your end, dragging a boat.
Yep.
And when I got to the recycle station, he went right past me. And he went and he backed in and dumped it where two other boats were. And I said the same thing. What the hell are we taking boats in here for?
We always have.
And the same thing with the campers that were down there.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we doing that?
So
Paying.
we probably ought to have that discussion of whether or not we should continue to take boats.
I would like to, at some point, doesn't have to be right now, but go through our whole brochure, and we need to mess with our pricing on a lot of things, because some of the stuff
So in the
costs us more to get rid of it than it does.
So in the absence of, and I apologize for interrupting,
Okay,
but
fine.
in the absence of an active transfer station committee, I know we schedule one. It doesn't have to be a long workshop with Josh and the board to go over some of the stuff.
After the new board, you think?
Yeah, that's only a month away, right?
So, 21 July then.
Does that work for you?
Anything works for me.
All right, so just tentatively pencil that in and we'll go from there.
That's your first meeting after that.
You,
Yeah,
You
maybe,
also,
maybe it shouldn't be the first meeting after.
we took out the free haul day, and somebody was gonna work on some type of a sticker or a
Card or something.
CAD or something to be able to get rid of 4 tires per vehicle or 2 tires per vehicle and household appliances or furniture, but that's something that's gonna have to be worked on so that everybody's treated equal.
Well, I think we have an even better solution than a coupon book, and we can thank Mr. Dave Lowe for the idea. Josh is working on the actual list of things that he thinks should be free. So many tires a year, an appliance, a piece of electronics, a couch, a mattress, whatever that is. And then create an Excel spreadsheet so it's in the computer at the transfer station, so there's no coupons at all. You come in, Mr. Smith, okay, you're bringing your couch today, that list is marked, you've got your freebie, that's it for that item. Josh is fine with that being in the computer inside and out on
So
the deck.
so you'd categorize, okay, I brought in my 4 tires for the year.
Yes.
Or I brought in my furniture for the year, or I brought in whatever.
Yeah, there would be those, I don't know, 4 to 8 things, whatever we collectively decide on, free for every household. That list would be.
I'm a dumb farmer, but I got 7 vehicles registered, so how many tires is it per vehicle, or is it per household, or is it,
I was
you
thinking
know,
per household, we can talk about that.
you know, I mean,
Tires right now are a big issue. We don't have, I mean, we could ship them, we used to be able to send 100 per load to Eco Maine. They'd throw them in the furnace and that was it. Well, now we can only put 10 per load. So we have 6,000 tires sitting there and we got nowhere to send them.
Yep.
Unless we can call one of them companies that come in and they take them out for you, but they charge you like $3 a tire. We only charge $1 per tire. So it's something we really gotta think about what we're gonna do with that. I mean, do I keep taking them in when we have, nowhere to put them?
Do you think the burning process at Eco Maine is gonna go back to maximum tires?
Not anytime
They're
soon.
doing this now because they're getting so much more waste with everybody being home.
I think they're doing it because it was messing up their furnace.
Oh,
That's
Let me query that,
Yeah.
Kevin, a little
Yeah.
bit. See what the future looks like.
so we'll come back with a list that will show the board, and that very question of, does a household get 4 tires, or do you get so many tires per vehicle? You know, monitoring numbers of vehicles would be a pain, but it could be done, so. We'll come back with that, and as far as I'm concerned, we scrapped the coupon book idea. That's a bunch of work.
well,
As long as-
I want it fair, but I want everybody to be fair too. I mean, I got 1 bedroom in my house, so I got 1 bed. And if somebody's got 6 bedrooms and they change the beds every 5 years, they're gonna have more beds, or they're gonna have more couch. So, as a taxpayer, we need to be fair to them, you know?
Yeah, but don't you think as a taxpayer that user fees and that homeowner should pay for that disposal rather than everybody else in town? I do,
Well,
for the most part.
I can sit here and squabble over it, because I ain't got no kids in the school, and I've got 3 homes and 7 vehicles registered. So I'm paying my share of the taxes, and what am I getting? You know?
Same thing that I get.
Yeah. I mean, the elderly is getting,
Well, I'm
Boosted.
not sure I want to classify
well,
myself as elderly right
we're
now.
all getting in that category, so.
The whole state is.
All right, so we need to come up with something that's fair and equitable, and that's really the issue.
Yep, we're working on it.
Okay.
David?
Anything else?
Okay, we're probably one day away from being complete on the Blueberry Road. We did 2,500 feet of full construction on it. We ground the pavement, put in new culverts, new shoulders, gravel. A job that we've wanted to do for 3 years and never had a contractor to do it and never had the time to do it. So as of today, they were finishing the paving. The dirt section has got base pavement, and they went from that dirt section all the way to the West Road, shimming the whole of the road. And they think they may have finished it today. We also did a shim on Silas Brown Road, and Straw Mill Brook Road received the finished pavement from a few years ago when we did the base. And they fixed the bad section where they had some holes showing up before they finished paving it. We are hoping, depending on how much money it costs to shim the rest of the Blueberry Road, we're hoping to pave some parts of Ospey Hill Road and the Middle Road. We gotta replace a few culverts on the Middle Road, and we've got some sections that need to be overlaid. We also are working on ditching on multiple roads, and we're working with just 2 people right now. Our third person is had appendicitis and has been out, will be out until next week. And hopefully the voters will give us a third worker, 4th worker count.
Sidewalks?
Sidewalks are, they removed the old pavement the last, yesterday and Friday. They started putting in the new gravel, and that should be complete from Plumbers to House of Pizza very shortly.
Who you got doing that, Dave?
DNR paving.
Gave us a really good price.
Yep.
We were gonna do a lot of that pulling up of the material, laying down the gravel and just paving, so.
They're doing it all.
Okay.
The only question I got is,
Say again?
I said, the only question I've got is, that work is gonna have to come to a cease if he goes in as a selectman. Done.
Yeah, I have to deal with that.
To be done by election.
Yeah. But he won't have any more of that work.
Anything else, David? So
just
pictures of the building.
everyday things. Yeah, we did some, Pete and a couple of young fellows did a bang-up job of replacing the flats, and we don't see daylight all through everywhere. And I rented a man lift, and they sprayed the whole building. It's a beautiful green. And we cut the wall for a walk-through door in the garage area, in the big garage area where the salt used to be kept.
Yep.
And before the end of the month, we will have cleaned that area, steam cleaned it, and pour a new floor. So that we have a better place for storing our equipment. And we can finally put a lock on the overhead door. You can't have
There
a
you
lock
go,
on an
yeah.
overhead door unless you have a walk-through door in that area, so we can do that now.
Gravel crushing starting in June?
Should be there before the end of the week. We're gonna do 4-inch gravel because we depleted the 4-inch gravel that we had when we did the Blueberry Road, which was what most of that was made for. And so we're gonna do 4-inch gravel now, and then we'll do the other gravel and stone on next year's budget.
Okay. All right, so if there's any thing that we need to react to from a budget perspective,
For this year's money,
or we got one more meeting to react to that, right?
And you have the most current reports. I forwarded them to you this afternoon.
All right. Anything else?
To jump back to the transfer station real quick, the insulating of the Quonset hut, is that something you still want me to look into further, or what are your thoughts on that?
Good question, I guess.
We're getting down there on time, so.
Well, I thought the free dump day monies were partially gonna go to actually doing the insulation. We took it out of the funding for next
Yep.
fiscal year with the knowledge that we would have enough funds to do it. And I think we can maybe not take it down to 4 inches or to reduce the price.
Yep. I think yeah, I don't think you need to make it
Go.
like a sauna.
I'm sure you can probably go lower than 4 inches.
Is there any comment or anything from that guy about if he puts 4 inches in there, what temperature difference there would be?
He did not say. I can give him a call tomorrow and figure that out.
We've got an uninsulated floor which sucks the warmth right down into it, and that's just, we're only warming up trash, we're not keeping people warm, so.
I think as long as it's warmer than the outside, it'll do its job. I mean,
Well, it's gotta be warmer than freezing,
Right.
okay?
I mean, we could still run those heaters in there.
Yeah.
on that note, should Josh and I be looking in the future for a heating unit for that building?
I think down the road, that probably makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because these space heaters that we use, we purchased two of them, and they're expensive. And if we're gonna continue to have to put cans in there, which we found that we can put 3 cans in the truck in there with a little bit of jiggling around.
3 cans including the truck, you said?
Say again?
3 cans plus the truck?
3 cans, including the one on the truck.
Okay.
Yeah, one is 2 plus the one that's on the
Yeah,
truck, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I would think, in another year, you probably ought to at least figure out what that would be, right? Just bring it to the next budget session.
If there's no, if Glenn says that we can go below 4 inches, because his price was for 4 inches on the steel and 3 inches on the gable ends. I'll talk and see if we can go down to 3 inches on the steel and 2 on the gable ends.
Insulation's always cheaper than fuel. Now granted, we don't have a residence here, we're not gonna live in it.
Right.
You're smart thinking that way, but you don't want to defeat the real purpose here. But yeah, let's take a look at the things.
Yeah, the guy doing the insulation could probably,
He'll probably do whatever you want him to do.
right, but there should be some recommendation that says,
They
3
all,
inches is R whatever, and 4
they
inches
all gave
is,
me the same quotes. It was all for 5 inches, for 5 inches of closed cell foam and 4 on the gable ends.
Yep.
And then when I spoke to him, the one company yesterday, he said, well, we can go down to, he gave me those 2 prices.
Okay.
The normal price and then that 1 inch less. I'll give him a call and see if we can go lower.
Okay. Anything else, you two? All right.
I would recommend looking for a waste oil burner so that we can burn that oil that we're collecting down there and ain't paying to get rid of it.
There's nowhere near enough there.
No.
No. Doug has, I know for a fact that Doug has a 5,000 gallon storage and he sometimes runs out. He's getting oil from a number of places.
We do about 500 gallons a month is what we bring in.
Okay.
And it's
We
not
could
all-
try it. I mean, I'm not saying we could get a, we
Well,
could
then you
get
get
a
the,
waste
then you
oil
got the risk
that
of
would
knowing,
also-
you have the risk of knowing what's in that oil.
Yeah. It's
So
not
that's
all
the problem, Dennis, that really is.
Yeah.
When
Somebody
people go into
decides they're gonna
that
mix
shack
gas
and
in
dump
with-
their oil,
Yeah.
you don't know if there's water in it or antifreeze or,
Or gasoline.
it's tough.
Some of it looks like pudding when you pour it.
Yeah, yeah. Some of it, no, there's no way that this came out of an
Whatever
engine.
this was in did not run.
Yeah, put a sign in there, do not eat what's on
All
it.
right, anything else, you guys? If not, let's jump on to new business, discuss, we'll reschedule the board meetings in July. So the 14th is voting day, so do we want to meet on the 7th and the 21st? The 7th will be before the vote, and the 21st would be the first meeting after. Or we can do the 7th and the 28th. It doesn't matter to me, what you,
No, we could do the 7th, the 20th. If we do the 7th, then whatever changes are coming from the state, we could make some other decisions before the 14th if we had to,
right.
without tipping the card over.
So you wanna-
upset the ladies up front, so.
Glad you said that without her in the.
You want to propose that?
Yeah, so
And we
we
do
make
the
a
7th
motion
and
that
the
we do the
21st?
7th and the 28th for our meetings in July.
Okay, so the 7th and the end of, so a 2 weeks split? 7th and the 21st, and the 7th and the 28th?
Let's go with 7th and the 21st so that we can do things after the election.
All right.
That's my motion.
Motion by Ted, Sherry.
Seconded, yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Gordon? Yea or nay?
Hey, yeah, but, I can't, for some
Okay,
reason, the video's not picking up the hand.
okay. Well, we'll do a roll call if we have to next time. All right, next item is, discuss vote to, continue to, I guess, appoint or recommend Gary continue on the Legislative Policy Committee at MMA. And who are you on with that?
One of 2 people in Senator Woodson's district, the other one is appointed by the Sanford City Council, and right now it's their city manager.
Okay.
So if you approve this, I will send letters to the other towns in the district and ask for their support also.
Well, I think it benefits us to have somebody on the Legislative Policy Committee, one way or the other, so.
So moved.
Have a second,
Second, I guess.
okay? Discussion?
I'd rather see Gary here in the office taking care of
Yeah,
town
it's
business,
it's a, what, a half a day?
5
couple-
meetings
Yeah,
throughout the
so
legislature.
it's not like it's a overbearing. But I do think that it benefits us to have some influence on that MMA committee. Even though we might get outvoted every time, but. Gordon, any comments?
Oh, I think that it's excellent that we reappoint him.
Okay, all those in favor? 3 hands up here, Gordon?
Yay.
Okay. All right, on the old business, we had a couple things, and kind of the ongoing discussion of hazardous pay. Have we got any feedback whatsoever from other municipalities, other towns, the state of what anybody is doing?
There's some lists floating around in terms of what other towns are doing. I don't have anything prepared for you tonight.
Okay.
We can certainly, now that we're getting toward the end of this.
Yeah, I think we probably ought to, if we can pull the trigger, we ought to pull the trigger in the next meeting. And we've already had the, next item was,
Thought that we was gonna pull the trigger tonight, that's why we put it on the agenda, but.
well, I think the problem is that everybody keeps talking about it, and I say everybody throughout the state, and nobody's, I've not seen any concrete data that says this is what we should do or what we shouldn't do. I mean, you hear about things all over I mean, who's the big mail order place? Amazon was just talking that they had, everybody was making $2 extra an hour, and they've now stopped paying them the $2 an hour effective whatever date. So, but I guess if nothing more, let's make a recommendation of what we're gonna do here at the next meeting.
Okay.
My question regarding this, hazard pay for the firefighters, which I think needs to be done. If we decide to pay that, where are those funds coming from? Even though we know that somewhere down the road, some federal money should come to reimburse us for that.
Yeah, but I think that federal money will cover remember we added 2 more per diem people, 24/7 for 7 weeks or so. We're pretty confident we're gonna get that back. Coming back in and doing this, I don't have any confidence we get that back. Because those are existing staff people.
That special per diem. Yes, it was hazardous job, but they knew it going in. It's our full-time ambulance crew.
Yeah, but just, you're not talking about adding any more money to the 2 per diem, other than that, the cost of that will
Right.
be absorbed by the system.
That's right,
Right.
but those people shouldn't be included in this hazardous pay. It's our
You're talking
regular,
about regular folks.
Yes.
Is that the board's intent? Because that's important that Julie and I and Matt need to know that, so.
I would say that,
We hired those in this,
they knew coming in.
They
that
knew
were
coming in
hired
what they was.
specifically for
Yes.
additional time
So,
for,
Additional shift.
those 3 bodies or 6 bodies or whatever we had, it's our regular weekly employees that should be included in this, but at the same time, we've had somebody in this town office with the same hazards. Yeah, we have, Gary.
Not to the extent of what they could have.
They knew going out on an ambulance call that they had a case of possible, and they had all the equipment to get it. If somebody came into that office and walked through those doors, you had no idea what was coming in here.
yeah, but in hindsight,
We closed the building.
now, in hindsight, now that we know, right, we did close the building, and in hindsight, we now know, because Maine CDC has opened it up, right, by zip code, we know that worst case scenario in the 3 zip codes was, well, each zip code is 1 to 5 cases. Presumptive cases, not necessarily confirmed cases. So worst case, out of our 8,600 people here, we might have had 15 infected, which is like 1/5 of 1%,
Yeah.
right? So,
We've been damn lucky.
oh, I agree, okay. So, I would say that let's take let's take a stab at what we think it should be. Yes.
I'd like to say to the fact that you ought to be including your transfer station crew as well as your fire department. They were not trained to be protected there, to know what the firemen know, and they're handling the stuff that's being thrown away by the houses. And that's my own opinion, and I, myself, Gary asked me what I was concerned with. It was the handling of the money, because I was not giving anything, but Glenn went and got me the sanitizer, and we had the gloves that afternoon.
It's about the extent of what anybody could do, right?
Right.
But as far as and I understand the transfer station, but when I go to the transfer station, nobody handles my stuff for me.
Okay, but I don't know, but
Yeah.
they're there, and then for a while they were handling.
You might handle a $10 bill that I give them for a sticker, but that's.
Yeah, but I just didn't know, but they aren't trained and didn't have the facilities.
Let's have a go at it at the next meeting. I don't know what the number is.
All right, well, we'll do some research and get a wide.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Okay?
Okay.
I think we covered the election.
Yes.
Other than that, we've got the minutes of the,
Oh, forgot 10C. Staff is ready to open up if you folks are okay with that, as long as you
I'm sorry. Opening it
manage the
down.
line outdoors.
I agree.
I
Open it
think
back up.
open it back up. I mean, it's not gonna, there's no more chance of exposure than what they're doing now by appointments, right? Other than that, there might be a few more people per day.
Quite a few more people.
Right.
Yeah.
And the real issue is that we're not gonna allow any more people in the building.
And if there's a rainy day, we'll ask them to be in their cars, and we'll give them something to put on the windshield, and we'll go get them when it's their time to come
Yep.
in.
I want to commend this young lady sitting over here. She washes that door down. She washes everything down.
I thought she was
When
gonna
the
wash the
general-
glass right out of the frame.
Well,
last
when the
time.
general public comes in, but these other ladies that you've got out there need a little bit of training. I came in a week ago Friday, and I was just raising the devil with the girl, and said, "How many times you wash that handle down?" I think I've done it 4 times today, and she didn't know who I was. And she said, "But I can wash it down before you go in if you want." This needs to be done every time.
Handle
And
for what? Dwayne?
the door handles,
Out front?
yeah.
Okay, most of the time, not all. Public doesn't touch them.
I understand that, but
We open the door.
it's not getting done when these other girls are out there.
When the other one was there, the door was unlocked though, and they're coming in. When
And-
Laura's there,
and I-
it was locked.
Laura's doing a,
Yes, she is.
I can't, she's done a heck of a job out there.
Yeah.
But
Doing 2
they-
jobs.
Yes, but a little bit of training on these other ladies might need to be done.
Well, the rest of the crew is not supposed to come out. They were staying in their stations, and
Yeah.
they have to. I mean, they don't have time to come out and do that.
But you had one out there a week ago Friday that was sitting there and,
It's the same one.
worth that, is, I guess, the word that I want to use.
Okay.
Tables weren't being cleaned like Laura is and stuff, because the girls mentioned it.
All right,
Uh,
but I'd say open the doors and
it'll make them
control, I shouldn't say open the doors. Stop doing the appointments, open to the general public, but you're gonna have to still control how many people are in here at any given time.
Understood, thank
And
you.
if that's Laura or someone like Laura standing out there, then that'll have to be done. Because the staff here that's meeting with and conducting the business they're not gonna change, right? The way whether they have an appointment or whether somebody's just next in line, it's the same business, right?
We're trying to get Georgia, if she can switch her kid care, come in and work on Mondays, then we have 3 people all 5 days. We really need that. We have 2 people on Mondays right now, and we could use that third person. That's the busiest day of the week. I don't know if she's gonna be able to do that in time, but we're gonna try.
Okay. All right. Item 11. Discuss vote to approve the minutes of May 26th.
So moved.
I will second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Gordon?
I don't think I was at that meeting.
Yes, you will.
I think,
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
well,
Yeah, you were at that meeting.
that's the one you came in, Gordon.
yeah, I did, okay, I wasn't that one, got them mixed up. Yeah, you're right, I vote yay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, for Sherry's benefit, that was a motion by Dwayne, seconded by Ted. And going back before Sherry was asking a question, that was a 4-0 vote about closing town hall on election day. No, I'm sorry. What we do before election day, we took a vote.
I don't think we voted on
We haven't
closing
voted on
election
that
day.
No, you didn't
So
vote on that, but there's
I
something.
would, based on that, I would entertain a motion to close to the general public on election day.
So moved.
Okay.
Okay, now, I'll second it.
Yeah.
But, question, close it all so that there's nothing open here.
Yeah, I guess
And
that's
then
the
we got
question.
nothing
I
coming
think that's
in.
what she
The code
wants.
office?
Well, Julie can work, Glenn can work, but building will be closed to the public.
Lock the door.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's my, because
It needs to be
if
posted.
the door's unlocked, then we've got to
Yeah.
have somebody cleaning the doorknobs
Yep.
and counting who's coming in, who's going out, so.
Actually, you'd have Shirley, code officer, and maybe Angela too, and Julie.
But Angela could go work at the voting,
I don't know that she's been asked to, but she could.
I mean, she's available if they need her.
Okay.
And we just need to make sure that that's.
Any
on
further discussion?
Social media sites so that.
Motion to close town hall on election day was by
Ted?
Ted, seconded by Dwayne. Did you
Any
vote?
other discussion? All those in favor? Gordon?
Yay.
Yeah, all right, 4-0.
These signs that we're gonna order, do you wanna take care of that?
I didn't know anything about this till tonight,
Okay,
so.
well, do
I
you
don't know
wanna
what you
touch,
talked.
do you wanna touch base with him in the morning so he can get them started?
Yeah,
And what you think needs to be on that?
all right.
Anything else?
We don't, the question is, we don't wanna put anything on so that we can't reuse them in November.
Right,
So,
it would be a
when
standard language.
when we're done, Monday night, we'll pick them right up and store them somewhere.
Right.
So that they can be put back out.
Because they're not gonna be having an absentee vote the day of the election, correct? They
Yeah,
can turn in, they can turn in an absentee,
They can't get them.
they can't get one, right?
So, actually, those can be picked up Tuesday morning.
For the public's benefit, usually absentee voting ceases at 5 o'clock Thursday before an election.
Right.
This time around, it's different.
That's it, pick them up Monday night.
Right.
I mean, I don't have a problem doing that for the town.
Okay? If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in
Second.
favor? Gordon?
Yeah.
Okay. Good night.
Sherry, that was a motion by Ted, seconded by Dwayne.